a great summer cocktail, and it's very easy to make large, especially the Tommy Margarita, because it only has 3 ingredients, making it very simple, easy to make, and easy to batch.
Right. So with the margarita, you know, starting off with our tequila, our bases, you know, a lot of people ask us about tequila and, you know, what tequila to choose, which way to go with it. And, you know, Don Julio is specifically a wonderful, you know, it's only been made by 2 people the entire time, Don Julio and our current master distiller, Enrique. Such a beautiful, beautiful man. It's from the Highlands. You know, they make the tequila so beautifully. But, you know, if we're looking at other stuff, you know, we have to start with a minimum 100% agave tequila.
Always.
That is a bare minimum that we have to do with to call it a margarita for me.
Yeah, now the cocktail, to make a margarita, you always have to have premium tequila. You have to use fresh ingredients. There's no other way of doing it. Sour mix, it comes out of a gun, it's just never going to taste the same. So you always want to make sure you're using 100% blue agave, a white tequila, a silver tequila, or a blanco tequila. For us, I mean, for me, it's always Don Julio. It's just such an incredible tequila to work with. And we're going to use a PB Classic double old-fashioned glass for this cocktail because you don't want it to be too big. I think this is just such a perfect size, and it's going to be a drink that's served over ice. So it just looks beautiful. It's very refreshing. And as you said, Ricky, isn't this a drink that you could go to a desert island?
This is my desert island drink. So if I was stuck on a desert island and I only had one drink to drink for the rest of my life, it would be the margarita.
Like I said, I think that would be the same for all my friends, because this is the one they asked me to make. They say nobody makes margaritas as good as me, so they love coming to my house. It's the one they request, so that's why it's my picture drink and the party cocktail. And this one I really love. This is a Tommy's Margarita. So it's a little less in booze because we're only going to have tequila. We're not going to have any orange liqueur. We're going to be using Don Julio Blanco, fresh lime juice, and agave syrup. Now, you can buy agave nectar at the store. It's always good to use a 100% pure agave nectar. You don't want to use one with a lot of synthetic flavors. And one thing I actually did learn from Ricky was that I normally just use it right from the bottle. And a great trick is actually to cut it in half with water. And that way it actually stretches out how much agave nectar you have.
Right.
It dilutes it, and so it's not too sweet, and also doesn't stick to the side of the shaker. And I got to say, makes an awesome margarita.
Yeah, so you can actually use agave syrup in place for simple syrup in other cocktails. I know a lot of agave lovers out there do that. So again, it's just equal parts agave nectar to water, and there you have a great another syrup that you could use for your cocktails.
So I always like to start with my sweet ingredient because my sweet ingredient, it sticks to the shaker, the jigger a little more. So the lime juice and the tequila is going to help rinse out, so I get all the sweetness that I'm looking for. So for this cocktail, I'm going to do 3/4 of the agave syrup.
Now again, we're going to be using agave syrup as our only sweetener in the cocktail, where we've seen Cointreau, Grand Marnier, other orange liqueurs, and the reasoning for that is we want our agave to come out. It's a margarita. We want to taste the essence of our tequila and the essence of the cocktail, which is our tequila. I don't want the orange liqueur to kind of change and dominate the flavors of what I'm using in that cocktail.
Exactly. So I used a 3/4 ounce of the agave syrup, 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, and now I'm going to put an 1.5 ounces of the Don Julio Blanco tequila. And I believe we have sorry, I'm being a little messy, making me nervous next to me. All right.
Don't get nervous.
No, great. So I think we have another question coming in. Ooh, from your hometown.
Oh, well, we answered this one. The simple, easy summer cocktails.
We already got that. So I hope this answers the question. We're about to make this one.
Yeah, we answered that one.
The margarita. And there's so many different ways you can do a margarita. You can do, as we said, this is a Tommy margarita. You can do the more classic with the orange liqueur. You can make watermelon margaritas. Spicy. My favorite is actually a spicy margarita with a little bit of jalapeno, a little fresh watermelon juice. So this cocktail is being served over ice. So actually, would you mind icing my glass? Do you have ice over there?
We're going to go over here.
Over there. So because it's being served over ice, you don't have to shake it that long. I just want to shake it long enough, as Ricky said, to aerate the ingredients, to get all the effervescence from the tequila as well, and to really just mix it and get a tiny bit of dilution. Just enough to chill it down, just enough to get a little bit of dilution, and then the rest is all going to happen in the glass. Thank you, Ricky.
Yep. So you notice we didn't put salt on the glass either. That's a question that we get a lot from from people about whether to put salt on a margarita or to not put salt on a margarita. And it's one of those things that it's a lot of preference, but for me, I don't like the salt because, again, I want the essence of the cocktail to really come out. The salt can kind of cover up some other flavors that are in the cocktail. So as a bartender, the way I always handled it in the past was to just put a half rim of salt, so you can allow your guests who like salt to use the salt, or maybe go back and forth from a salted side to a non-salted side on your cocktail. Again, we want to give them that option.
Yeah, I like having the option because sometimes I do want the salt, but for the most part I don't. So now you can garnish it with a simple lime, but we wanted to add a little pop of color, and these are some great way of doing it. So just a beautiful tropical flower in the glass, and it just makes it
very pretty.
So pretty.